Hey there, it's Shauna. I hope you're doing good. So this video is all about the astrological sign of Scorpio. So this applies if you have your sun in Scorpio, so if you were born late October to early November. It's also applicable to people who have their moon in Scorpio, or if you have a Scorpio ascendant, or if you just have a really heavy Scorpio influence in your chart. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Scorpio, what their tendencies are, what their strengths are, what the shadow side is, and then also really ultimately what Scorpio's purpose is here in this world, like what their endpoint is. As with any sign, someone that's born under the sign of Scorpio has a very specific purpose. They came here very specifically as a Scorpio to learn certain lessons and to become something specific. So I'm going to tell you about that, and I hope you like it. So here we go. So Scorpio is the sign of the scorpion, and it's a water sign. Some general basic traits of Scorpio are very deep, very intuitive, very, very perceptive, super perceptive. It's interesting because Scorpio, although they're very watery and intuitive and they feel so much, they have this outer mask. So it's not like Cancer, where Cancer is very emotional and feeling, but it's all like on the sleeve. It's all very upfront. Scorpio is so incredibly deep and they feel so much, but they have this this exterior mask, a very strong exterior. So Scorpios have this almost like sometimes this air of like, don't fuck with me. But at the same time, they can see you very clearly. They're very perceptive. They see what's underneath the surface. So a Scorpio can have a conversation with someone and they can pick up what's really going on with that person based on just maybe like the way that person is talking, the way they're holding themselves, the way that their eyes are moving, and the things that that person is not saying. There is nothing superficial about a Scorpio, typically. You know, if someone has maybe like a Scorpio sun and a Gemini ascendant, it's going to diffuse that energy a little bit. But typically Scorpios are like so incredibly deep. And it makes like, it's such a beautiful sign, it's such a beautiful energy, but it can be a little intimidating sometimes because they see you so deeply. I mean, just imagine being around someone and it's like they just know what's going on with you. It can be a little bit, it puts you in a very vulnerable spot. So being around a Scorpio or having a Scorpio friend or a Scorpio mate, some people love it, some people hate it, and it can change too because so Scorpio is very loyal also. If a Scorpio finds someone that they like or with their friends, they are like with those people because Scorpio, they already see everyone so clearly. So when they like someone, they know that they like them. Like they already know who that person is, and so so they have a very strong sense of loyalty. At the same time, Scorpios hate to be lied to. They hate to not be trusted. Deception is like, they fucking hate deception. They hate it so much. And so if you lie to a Scorpio, it's not just gonna like hurt their feelings, it's gonna piss them off and they are going to retaliate. Scorpio is not a complacent sign. They're not a passive sign at all. Like if you piss them off, you better fucking run because they will find a way to get you back. And I think that's kind of a shadow side to Scorpio. I mean, I don't know, it could go either way because it's important to have a strong sense of power within yourself to not be walked over like a doormat. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes there can be a tendency to go the whole opposite direction with Scorpio because they don't want to be messed with. And if you mess with them, they are going to like make sure that you pay. So don't piss off a Scorpio. That being said, they're there's such a beautiful energy around the depth that they have. Again, like they feel so much. So they make really great friends and lovers because there is such an immediate connection with them. And Scorpio is very concerned about what's really going on underneath the surface. So along those lines, Scorpio is all about the subconscious mind. So what our what our internal desires are, what our unknown, like that really deep stuff. And this can be a strength for Scorpio. It can be a resource, but it can also get them into trouble sometimes. And you may have seen this with people that you know are Scorpios. They're so incredibly introspective, and they see so incredibly clearly with others and with themselves. They really truly see their unconsciousness. They see that which sometimes maybe should be hidden from themselves. Our unconscious mind, typically, that stuff that's there, it's unconscious because sometimes it's so painful for us to see it. And that can be issues of self-worth, that could be previous abuse, that could be relationship stuff, whatever it is. Sometimes, and again, this is not a prediction, this is just a possibility, something that can happen. Sometimes if Scorpio sees themselves so clearly, they can see something that's really painful, that's hurtful for them to know about themselves. And if they don't deal with that in a healthy way, that they'll shove it down even farther and numb it out, and then it will manifest in self-destructive ways. And that can be anything. It can be like just being very angry. It can be drug abuse. It can be self-abuse. It can be destructive relationships. Anything that's destructive to themselves. It's kind of like almost like this implosion. Like they see something that's so incredibly painful, and they're like, no, like I can't see this. So they just stuff it down until it gets like so intense that it like explodes in an equally unconscious way. So that is like just something for Scorpio for you to look out for. And the key to that is processing emotions and finding like a healthy outlet for things, for the subconscious. So all of that being said, when Scorpio is processing their emotions in a healthy way, it's such a very beautiful energy because they can really tune into what's really important. And for this reason, they make really great anything involving like psychology or counseling or anything where they need to like get to the bottom of things. Like that type of work is very satisfying for a Scorpio because it fulfills that need to get to the bottom of things, to like figure out like what's really going on, what's really important. And really, that's what Scorpio's life is all about. If you're born as a Scorpio, your mission, your purpose here in this life is to discover the deep truths of what's really important to you in your life, what's really important from your perspective, and to live your life keeping that and holding that within you, and to help other people see that in themselves as well. because a lot of times people don't see that. um, so yeah, so Scorpio, big picture, very intuitive, crazy, like crazy deep, super deep. They feel so much. But be gentle with your Scorpio friends or your Scorpio partner because they put on this really strong front and there's a lot going on underneath the surface. And they they may come off as intimidating or they may come off as a little manipulative, but it's not that they're bad or it's not that they are that way. It's just that they have to protect um, all of this like deep feeling that they have, and the way to the way to connect more with a Scorpio is to share yourself with them, to open up to them, because when you do that, they see that what you're saying and what you're feeling lines up. And that makes them feel comfortable because they feel like you're not trying to put one over on them. They feel that you're being very genuine. And that's really what they want. Scorpio really wants to be around people who their actions and like their feelings line up together, because then they're like, oh, okay, like you're being who you are, because they see who you are. And that's kind of what they need. Um, so, that's your Scorpio. I hope that you liked this and found it interesting, and I hope that if you were a little bit intimidated by Scorpio before, I hope that you appreciate them and love them and see just how special and beautiful and wonderful they are, because they really are. um, so yeah, I hope you like this. If you like it or have any questions, leave me a little comments, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see the other videos that I'm making, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Namaste.